Hey guys, I'm Sylvain, and welcome back to another episode of Villar, or Virtue's Last Reward, or Xeriscape Virtue's Last Reward. Last episode, we basically kind of finished out the sort of like memory of the past all the way up here. We did go through all this, oh geez, I can't even like, I have to like click on it. But yeah, we went all the way up to the top, and then we went all the way back down. As you can see, there's no like connection between these two, like there's no green line between the two. So that's essentially what we went through. We just went up to the pass, back down to the current time, and finally we escaped the AB Games facility, the facility that facilitated the AB Games. We still haven't seen Akane. She disappeared essentially right after we came back, as well as the fact that I do remember we do have a key tied to Sigma's ankle, but he hasn't really noticed it or forgot about it all for some dumb reason. I have no clue why. And on top of that, we are realizing that Earth is actually the moon-looking planet away from where we're at, which we're technically on the moon instead. But yeah, they're kind of going through this long-ass explanation about everything. It's just a lot, I guess. But I'll try my best to finish this game through this episode. If not this episode, then again, we'll keep moving to the next episode until the game finishes. But let's get through it, because I want to get through as much as possible today, so we can get this particular series to a close, because I think that it's dragged on longer than it needs to be.
あの星が地球だなんて信じられない。私たちが知ってる地球はもっと青くてみずみずしく輝いてるはずじゃない。
I mean, when the Earth is literally infected by Radical 6, everyone goes to turmoil, right? So things are burning down there.
なのに、どうしてあんな風に赤く染まってるのよ。
そのことを話す前に、今がいつなのかを教えておこうかの。今は2028年の大晦日ではない。
Oh, right, because the time period would be far faster away from whatever time period.
1月27日じゃ。
In 29.
いいや。
まさか2030年の。
It's probably way further.
それも違う。
じゃあ一体いつの1月27日なのよ。
Yeah, just spit it out.
2074年のじゃ。
Wow, we're 50 years in the future. More than 50 years. Yeah, 52 years, I guess. No, not 52. It's like 8. It's like 46 years into the future, I think. Yeah, it's like 46 years in the future. Almost 50. No! Masuka! That's insane! That would mean we were abducted more than 45 years ago.
まあ信じられんとしても無理はない。じゃがこれは紛れもない事実じゃ。
どうしてわかる？
どうしても何もない。わしとクオークが地球を旅立ったのは2074年の1月23日のことじゃった。
Wait. I'm so confused now, because that means that Tenmyoji's older because he aged a very long time, and Akane disappeared by that point anyways. But then that means that Clover froze her age, basically, because Akane was 3 years older than she was from 999 at the time of like being kidnapped and abducted. So that means that she basically froze her age, and Tenmyoji just grew older, or Junpei grew older and stuff. But yeah, Tenmyoji's Junpei. I don't know if I mentioned it previously, but I already knew that was the case, because technically, I don't know if it's explained yet, but I'm pretty sure it will explain itself soon.
そしてこの日食。これが1月27日に起こることはあらかじめ決まっておった。天体の運行に関する摂理じゃよ。誰にも揺るがすことはできん。
でもそのことと地球が赤いこととどういう関係が？
But yeah, no, I think the secret does say something about it. Sorry, I'm trying to see if that was part of it. If that was a part of the thing that says something about Tenmyoji and Clover, I think. Yeah, because technically Tenmyoji is Junpei. I found this out by mistake because I was like looking up Tenmyoji by name because I wanted to know if I was spelling it right. So this was the character I kept typing up a few times, and I was just like, oh, right, this person's Junpei. I can't say anything until like near the end of the game already at this point. But essentially, it's hinted that he's Tenmyoji is Junpei because Junpei's last name was never mentioned ever in 999. So now that we are able to see that his last name is Tenmyoji, it's obvious that this is Junpei. It's just that they use his family name versus his first name, which Junpei is his first name, I believe.
今から45年ほど前、2029年の4月13日に地球上のあちこちで恐ろしいほどのエネルギーが放出されることになった。
Oh, 2 years after our abduction, the world got annihilated.
当時、世界各地に存在していた18機の追消滅反応炉、それらが一斉に大爆発を起こしたんじゃ。
But that also begs the question is why Dio was trying to... Like, one, how did Dio end up on the same planet? And two, if his plan was to destroy the world and change the world, it's already happened. Why is he coming back around just to do it again, but to a small group of people? It just doesn't make any sense, isn't it? Or maybe the point of us doing our experimentation is to prevent Radical 6 from ever spreading to begin with, causing this particular event to happen. Maybe that's what Sigma and Phi was meant to be doing.
その威力は広島型原爆のおよそ18万倍。
Yeah, it's just basically nuclear evaporation, nuclear destruction of the world. What? Why?
話は数ヶ月ほど遡る。2028年の12月31日、大晦日。
Okay, that's so conveniently weird, dude. Why does it have to be another isolated test site again, like they did with the 999?
その日、ネバダ砂漠に建設された火星探査用シミュレーション施設で一つの事故が起こった。
Uh-huh.
いや、事件と言うべきかもしれんな。
Wait, but also Tenmyoji knows more about this site, so I'm kind of suspicious that he might have been involved in that accident, quote unquote.
その施設からラジカル6が漏洩したんじゃよ。
Claims its first victims and then escaped?
このことに端を発してウイルスは瞬く間に世界中へと拡散していくことになった。
I guess that makes sense.
ルナの言った通り、ラジカル6は感染者の思考速度を低下させる。じゃが同時にそれは宿主の自殺衝動を喚起するウイルスでもあるんじゃ。たちまち世界はおびただしい数の死体の群れで埋め尽くされることになった。
I see. So basically it's it's basically kind of like a slow burning, mentally manipulative virus kind of thing.
ビルの屋上から身を投げる者、銃で頭を撃ち抜く者。
You know what's funny? There is a actual comic book out there. There's a comic book out there that had, I forgot what the title was called. The title was called, I read it, but it was not great. Like, it was just very gnarly. I think it was a very gnarly comic book. It's a Western comic book, not a different type of country or anything. It was, I think it's made by a bunch of Western comic books or American comic book writers or artists. I think it's called X or something like that. It was like something about like how people got infected by this mysterious virus that has like creates a cross in your face, I guess. Like it starts bleeding across in your face and you realize that's how you can distinguish from those who are infected or not. And they kind of like, they do the same thing like Radical 6 does, where it's like they go and attack others Primarily, they attack others first, and then once there's no one that they have not infected or have infected, they would go against each other basically, or go against themselves, like either or. And it was kind of a crazy kind of comic book where it shows how the world basically destroys itself in the virus kind of thing. And it was kind of crazy because of how some of the events of gnarly stuff happens. Like there's some people who just go off and do weird things with the virus as they were getting infected, and it was crazy with a bunch of different types of story. It was kind of episodic, and it wasn't like sort of like a full story like this. But I see somewhat similar influences about how a virus could turn people into crazy folks and wanting to kill themselves or kill other people with them. I don't know. I don't really know what the obsession of that kind of thing is, but I mean, it is definitely more of the gore horror side of things in terms of like nightmare of people not wanting to see the world like in that state. But it does have the sort of implication that war and hatred is what fuels the sort of like existence of the fiction of something like a virus, making people wanting to do things without laws or boundaries and psychological sort of like barriers, I guess I would call it.
服毒、昇進、練炭、首吊り。電車に飛び込む者は後を絶たず。
Jeez.
旅客機のパイロットまでもが多くの乗客を乗せたまま操縦桿を下に向ける始末じゃった。
Wow. Actually, that actually also happened in the comic book too, because it was a plane that like nosedived into the town as one of the early parts of the time of the infection of that comic book series. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of obvious that the first thing that people who are infected would do is just like they would just, if they're in the middle of something like that, they would just totally just jump right in and do it. Because they have that opportunity now, and it's just why not?
このため交通機関はことごとく麻痺。
That's obvious, yeah.
街に食料は届かず、やがてウイルスに感染していない者までもが餓死していくようになった。
That, however, I don't think would happen immediately. I think it would take more than... Because, first off, people who are not affected would probably be able to find things and then start living isolated from others over time, but...
さながら阿鼻教官の地獄絵図やったよ。
Rats and crows, okay.
街には屍に群がるカラスやネズミ、それから無数のハエだけが残されることになったんじゃ。それからしばらくして感染を免れた者たちが世界の各地に集結し始めるようになった。
Oh, I feel like that's a bad thing that's gonna happen. Is like people are just waiting it out.
ラジオでここに集まるようにと指示を与えたりしてな。そうして合流した彼らは考えた。一体どうすれば世界に拡散したウイルスを駆逐することができるのかと。導き出された結論は浄化。世界を強烈な熱線で焼き尽くすことにしたんじゃ。かくして2029年4月13日、作戦は決行されることになった。
So they went with the craziest plan, just eliminate everything and everyone on site, or everything on site in terms of the whole world.
彼らは世界中の同志たちと連絡を取り合い、18機の追消滅反応炉を一斉に爆破したんじゃ。
Sheesh.
じゃが、これは生き残った者の間で語り継がれている噂に過ぎん。
Yeah, because pretty much everyone who tried to do it, or did do it, has already gone since whatever time that happened.
真相は違ったのではないかとわしはそう思っておる。本当は爆破を実行した者たちも全員ラジカル6に感染していたのではないかと。
But wait, so does that mean that the reason why the bomb, or the reason why the Nevada test space happened was because somebody who was not a part of the whole thing did something stupid and then caused that Radical 6 to spread inside the test chamber, I guess? And now we're replicating that exact test chamber here to try and stop Dio, who was probably originally the person who caused Radical 6 to spread, to suddenly let it spread then. So we're basically kind of semi-preventing the past through Dio's, by stopping Dio and getting him stuck there forever, I guess.
いわば数十億人を道連れにした神獣。死なばもろともというやつじゃ。そうでなければこんな愚かな作戦を実行するはずがなかろう。奴らはきっと理性を失っておったんじゃよ。ラジカル6のせいでな。ともあれいずれにせよそれは起こった。
Yeah, that's true. It already
爆発
happened.
によって舞い上がった粉塵は成層圏まで達し、地球をどす黒い煙で覆い尽くした。それから7年もの間、世界は闇に包まれた。植物は枯れ、動物たちもほとんど死に絶え、かろうじて生き延びた者たちは残されたわずかな保存食を分け合いながら、あるいは奪い合いながら細々と命をつないでおった。とはいえ、巻き上げられた塵や埃はいつまでも宙を漂っていたわけではなかった。
What's even interesting is that instead of going with the Fallout route, like the Fallout games route of like people who experienced it, there's still like a lot left still, like there's still like living things, but things got mutated and evolved into weird crap. But then here it's just like, oh, they just all died, basically. Everyone is dead, every living thing is dead. It's just only a few things left behind. Or a few people left behind, basically, and they're just surviving to the best of their ability. I mean, kind of unique, but kind of very hard to explain if there's not a lot of living something left alive to survive for those people.
やがて少しずつそれらは地表へと舞い降りてきて、空は次第に明るさを取り戻し始めた。
Oh, okay.
植物からは新たな緑が芽吹き、動物たちの数もわずかながら増えていった。それでも45年経った今もなお、成層圏にとどまったまま浮遊を続ける塵や埃が大量に存在する。
Yeah, because you don't really clear up ash and dust in like a couple years, I would say. Like I would definitely see it where like the explosion and destruction and all the particles flying around are still probably way too radioactive and too reactive to oxygen that it's just constantly keep going until basically that energy either goes out into the atmosphere or it just disappears on its own in a way that just becomes more livable for whoever's still around, I guess. I'm guessing that's what I think. Is that it would probably take about 1,000 years or so for it to clear out completely. But obviously the dust and ash will definitely stay in the air for like forever. Even in the water, it's the same thing, I bet. It's going to stay even longer in the water. So it would probably take 10,000 years or something like that for the water to clear up from that sort of particle thing.
その結果があれじゃ。夕焼けと同じ原理じゃよ。波長の短い青や緑の光は大気中の微粒子にぶつかり乱反射を起こして拡散してしまう。じゃが波長の長い赤色光だけはそれらをすり抜けて遠くまで届くことができるんじゃ。地球が赤く染まって見えておるのはこのため。赤い光だけが目に届いておるからあんな風に見えるんじゃよ。
I was speechless. What could I possibly say? There was no reason for Tenmyoji to lie it to us. Yeah, because he did say he was going to explain it all. Like, Tenmyoji was going to explain it all in Tenmyoji's ending, but ended up not doing that, and then he's now doing it now, after we all escape, which is funny to me. Or after most of us escape. So we were standing on the moon, looking at the Earth. It was 2074. But why? Why were we there? Why were we then? I was so lost in thought I barely noticed Phi's approach.
なあシグマ、一つ分かったことがあるんだ。
A window popped up on the inside of my helmet with whisper in the corner. So they have a digital thing to just make it whisper to each other, I guess. She seemed to be using a circuit only we could hear. Yeah? What is it?
E が一つ多かった理由だ。
An extra E. The extra E for 9th? Oh, you mean the graffiti?
ああ、E 会の倉庫にあった落書きのことだよ。あれは多分 A 会のそれと同じようにアナグラムで解釈すべきものだったんだと思う。
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. What's Anna say this time?
アナグラムだ。
I think he's probably said what's an anagram, I think. Yeah, I think he was trying to say what's an anagram, and then he... or something like that, and then she just repeated, it's an anagram, Sigma.
しつこいぞ。メメントモリ。If the ninth lion ate the sun.
Oh my god, the way she said that in English.
このアルファベットを並べ替えると
That's
どう
funny.
なるか。
It's funny because it's like, it's good that I can hear it, but it's just like, I didn't realize it until I heard ate the sun. I was just like, wait, she's speaking English, rereading that line.
The man on the moon rules the infinite time.
Truth be told, I played Yakuza 8 Infinite Wealth, and that one has a lot of like Japanese mixed in with English, where the Japanese people have to speak English for the lines because they are taking place in Hawaii, so it's like they have to speak it basically. They have to speak the Japanese or the English and the Japanese accented, which is fine. I think it was pretty well done in the sense. I do think that they still struggle to try to say some of the lines, and it kind of feels a little off, but it's not bad. I think same here. I think it's the same idea that they need to say it in English, but it's like the man on the moon rules the infinite time. Oh, because Junpei did did save the infinite time basically. Like he basically keeps trying to save the world, I bet, through his time travelness.
こんな文章が作れるんだ。
So this is all, the anagram is basically the man. So this whole graffiti, the anagram was the man on the moon rules the infinite time, is what that sort of anagram is. Wait, how did it take this long to even decipher it? Jeez. Oh, maybe because, yeah, Radical 6 slows her brain process down. Yeah, they're doing, okay.
元の文章に E が6つなければこの組み替えは成立しない。
That's fair, because there is a lot of E's in this sentence.
だからあえてナインスのスペルに E が足されてたんだよ。
The man on the moon rules the infinite time.
これはゼロ星や茜からの我々に対するメッセージだと思うんだ。
Probably targeting Tenmyoji, because he's the only character who seems to be able to go back in time to do something.
ほら、茜が言ってただろ。
AD 計画とはシグマさん、ファイさん、あなたたち2人の意識を過去に飛ばすこと、それを目的とした計画のことです。
So, what are you getting at?
たく鈍いな。わからないのか。ゼロ星や茜は我々が無限の時を支配すると言ってるんだ。
A weeb ruled the infinite time.
無限の時。つまり彼らが想定していたタイムスパンはたかだか数時間単位のものではなかったってことだよ。もっともっと前のはるか昔の過去へと彼らは我々の意識を飛ばそうと。
Wait a minute. ちょっと待てよ. Are you saying you think you're going to send us back 45 years?
ああ、おそらく。
So the ultimate purpose of the AB project is to send us back in time to that catastrophe Temuji was talking about?
だと思う。
That doesn't make any sense though. I mean, we came from that same time period before actually. So why bring us here and then send us back? Probably because we were more closer, I guess, in terms of... Like, we do probably have, like, a much more stronger Now, I'm kind of wondering now at this time, too. Like, does that mean that the younger you are, the easier it is to travel back through, like, memories / parallel universe? Or is it that the older you get, you kind of... Or, yeah, the younger you are, you can do it. The older you get, the harder it is to go back in time and save people. Is that the case here in the case that why they chose Phi and Sigma? Because they're both younger folks to do it? Or if it's like something else, I guess. Do you know where she is? I mean, we do have the key on her ankle. Yeah.
Tu fui ego eris.
That's our clue. Oh! Oh, it's the tombstone thingy, mabobber. Oh, okay. Do we have to go to a different timeline to get to it, I guess? The grave. The one in the garden. Can we go back in, though? We turned and ran back in the pressure exchange chamber. The others following close by. They're running after us. We're going to go and have a talk with someone. You really need me to spell it out. The person behind all this. Oh, so Kay does know who it is. What? Nande? Right, since Kay didn't see her die, it means that he's not as, like, he's not full of headed of confusion and vengeance like he was in the other paths, because Akane is a sort of pseudo-mother character that he really respects highly of, and so he kind of, and loves, I guess, like in a way, as like a mother to child. But yeah, he probably would know. Yeah, because this guy said he was gonna see her again. Akane. You just spoke of Akane. I'm coming along. I'm pretty sure everyone wants to come along. Just stop telling me that everyone wants to follow along because of whatever reason. God damn it. The Clover, yes, I know. Yes, it's June, yes. Ah, shut up. Just shut up. Come if you want to. We don't need to do a roll call. Once we get there, Akane can explain everything. Yeah, it's just funny how everyone's just like, I want to go, I want to go. It's like, I get it. We know you all want to come. Stop talking and let's go, please. With that, we headed back through the airlock. But how are we going to go back in? I thought they said that it was forever closed. But also, what about Dio? Does that mean he's stuck there forever and stuff? Oh, it's still open. Wait, does that mean that... Does that mean that we can come and go whenever we want, I guess? Does that mean that we can just go through here whenever we want?
なるほど。考えましたね。英界にある9の扉は、ゲームが終われば二度と開くことはない。
Yeah.
ゼロウサギはそう言っていました。しかし、この B 界の扉なら。
ああ。リフト側からなら開くんじゃないかと思ったら、案の定だったな。
Interesting. So the reason why... So he wasn't lying about floor A. He was lying about floor A, but no. He was not lying about floor A, but the rules only concerns floor A's number 9 door, not so much as floor B's warehouse area exit door. So that's not concerning that. So technically we could have come back in through floor B, but we can never go back in or out through floor A. So that's interesting. How do we exit from floor B though? That's the question.
それで、茜の居場所に心当たりはあるのか?
Gardens. Yeah, because we'll never need to go to floor A because there's nothing important up there anymore besides Dio. Yeah, the grave.
それはもしやビオトープの墓のことか?
How did you know? Yeah. Don't worry. I don't think she's buried there or anything. Chances are she's alive. Just in a grave. Anyway, let's move. Ikimashou. To the garden. Would it be garden as in like Niniwa? Or Deniwa? No, De is at-ish. Niwa. Niwa desu? I know Niwa is garden, but there's also courtyard garden. I'm wondering what garden is in terms of this area. Like, how did they do in the pronunciation of the words for this? Alright, there it is.
本当にこの下に茜が?
Yeah, technically I saw the keyhole way earlier on, but I totally forgot about it because it was just out of my brain by the time it happened. So I never really got around to thinking about the keyhole anymore after so long. I don't know what episode it was, maybe episode 20. So that's like, I don't know, like, it's interesting too because I realized this. I just did a weird retrospect. It's been a full year, I think, since I played this series. I've been playing this for a full year, maybe more than 1 year now at this point, and I'm just like, gosh, dude, I spent a year and almost a half at this point playing through this series, and I realized this has been a long time waiting, and I do apologize how long it runs. I personally wish that it wouldn't take this long to get to this point, but geez, it's been a whole year that I realized that we never thought about the key all of that time afterwards.
でもどうすればいいんだろう? みんなで協力して掘り起こすの?
No, there's a key. No, I don't think we'll have to do anything like that. You see the keyhole on the grave? If I just insert this here. I pulled the key off my ankle and fit it into the hole. I twisted it to the right until I heard something unlock. With a quiet grinding, the grave began to shift. Oh. She had a mysterious treatment pod, but that's so ironic too, a little bit, because it looks like a coffin. It looks like a real coffin. Why does it have to look like an actual like coffin came out of the grave kind of situation?
棺じゃなさそうだね.
Yeah, it just looks like one. Let me see the flow actually. Okay, nothing. I thought it was gonna change by like 1 or something.
ああ、治療用のポットだよ。
治療用の
ポット?
The glass on the cover had frosted over, making it opaque. We couldn't see who or what was in it.
とにかく開けてみよ
う。Open it. She grabbed a hold of the lever on the side of the pod.
ダメだ。ロックがかかってるらしい。
Yeah, can't you see this? Fi, can you not see that? It's pointed at this. It's not pointed here yet. we gotta turn it over, you know? What? Nani? Oh?
治療用ポッド TP00 解凍準備完了.
Oh, I see. So it just automatically wants to do it. The system is automatically poised to do it.
解凍所要時間は10分です。解凍完了後、ロックは自動的に解放されます。
Right. Cold sleep. These pods can put people into cold sleep. It uses something called CAS to freeze human bodies without destroying their cells.
じゃあ、中にいる茜さんはガチガチに凍りついちゃってるんだね。
Yeah, like Alice was when she was frozen over for Ice 9, I think it's called in the 999 series. They call it the Ice 9, where it just freezes things and keeps them in the original state of when they were. I think so. それが溶けるまで待たなきゃいけないんだ。Yeah.
それでは待っている間に、Kの詳しい話とやらを聞かせてもらおうか。どうして茜のことを知ってたんだ、お前。
Alright, cool. That will be where I'll stop for now. Gosh. There's a lot of, like, conversation dialogue that just keeps on going and going. And I think that there's just so much going on that they're trying to explain right off the bat for the ending here. But I don't know when it will be over. But, yeah, hopefully we'll get closer and closer to the end. I mean, we are getting close. We're just inching closer towards that end. Of what the point of this whole game is, and I'm looking forward to it. I really do wish to finish the series soon, considering that we're almost like, we're so far into this already that I'm just like, it's just grasping at straws to try to get to the end right now. Just climbing so slowly, because I'm just like, don't want to keep going, but I need to keep going to figure out where it ends, where it stops. Anyways, thank you guys for watching anyways. Let's hear what Kay has to say about Akane a bit more. I think he's already explained it to us in another path, but I bet he's going to say something more. Like, he's going to be more direct about who and what is his family situation. Because we know he has his father and stuff, and he's a clone of sorts. I mean, I'm not going to be surprised if he takes off his mask as well here, and then we see Sigma's face on his body, because we know who he is under that mask. He's a clone of Sigma somehow. And, yeah. Otherwise, we'll see what happens. So, anyways, Roz out.